Hello everyone, welcome to today's webinar. So I'm Kenneth. So today's topic will be the unifying of SSO and MFA to reduce IT complexity. This is a webinar, so you guys cannot turn on microphone. So if you got any question or any clarification you need, please type in the chat or the question box in your console on the GoToWebinar. So anyway, let's get started. And yeah, just raise any question you want. So today's product is mainly talk about JumpCloud, which is a cloud directory. It's really interesting solution. So as I mentioned, so please send question. I will try to answer you guys. If not today, we will follow up with you guys by email. So there's a few topic we will go through today. So like how about what is JumpCloud, the solution overview, and I pick a common scenario, maybe not very common in Singapore, but getting more and more common in many other countries. But anyway, so we can go look into the challenge and the solution, so we can learn from that, see if you can help you guys. Okay, so let's talk about JumpCloud. So JumpCloud is a cloud directory, and actually not just a cloud directory, but a many integrated solution. So we have many customers worldwide, and we have very good ranking in different comparison or review websites. Let's go more, and we have many really good customers. So you can see we got Grab, we got Upload, Upland, Salesforce, and some universities, any different industry. So just anyone need identity. So if you handle identity, you either go for on-prem directory service or the cloud directory service. I think you guys will agree that moving on to cloud is a trend, because we don't just have a Windows server and Windows desktop. We have a bunch of different workstation, server, and cloud service. So a cloud IDP more or less is very important, right? So let's talk about the challenge. Why we think about cloud directory, as I mentioned. So in old days, we just have a integrated on-prem AD, everything. You just create a user account and that's fine, but it's not the case today. We may have on cloud email, cloud drive, maybe have a Salesforce and some online system, and then we have Wi-Fi, all sort of things. We need to create and synchronize many different accounts in different systems. So it's become very tedious for onboard. And one thing is very important is user may forget something on the offboarding procedure. Maybe they just remove the user from the Active Directory, remove the email account or disable the email account, but forgot to handle about the Salesforce. So it is very common. It's very easy to forget if you got like 10 or 30 or 15 system you need to provision, and there's a new user there, and you have to do the same for the provision. So it is really tedious, right? And we got more and more complex IT environment, and we got more and more remote user. It's very difficult to support them if you use a pure on-prem AD Well, many choose not to join the AD for the remote user. It may be handleable, it may workable if that is only 5 or 10% of workers is using non-managed device. But nowadays we may 100% remote workers, or we have 50% or 70% of remote users, or half the company will on and off got remote work from home. So it's very, very difficult to support them if it is not managed. Okay? And we got Linux, we got Mac OS, we got different system, not just Windows. So on-prem AD seems not supported very well. And the AD itself is only good for authentication, not easy to understand audit log, and no reporting capability. So this is very good challenge for one not using any directory service and also someone who are using the on-prem directory AD or Open LDAP, whatever. Yeah, I've seen some using Open LDAP. So there's some common scenario that who are going to adopt cloud directory services. One, build a new one. So for some customer, they don't have a directory service in place. They of course they can build a new one. When they're doing a new one, not likely they will choose on-prem anymore. So they may go for JumpCloud, right? And second one scenario is replacing their current AD and moving on to the cloud. This is also very common, but of course there is lots of tasks to do, and it do require some planning and execution plan to make it work very well. Thirdly is remote work. So they may have on-prem AD working fine and not going to replace it, but they find that some remote user is not supported or some Mac OS or whatever. Well, then we can add JumpCloud as a secondary directory to manage the remote users, Mac OS or Linux servers. And the last one is they may choose to integrate existing Active Directory and work on the zero trust security side to do like a single sign-on integration. So it's also very common scenario that we are going to adopt cloud directory because don't forget about JumpCloud. So let's take a look how JumpCloud works and what kind of function we have. Before you have a cloud directory, how it looks, you doing the provision and how the authentication flow going on. So you may have an AD, and then or you got a author, you got the Google Workspace, and then you got limited integration with the HR system, or the HR system integrate with AD, and then you use an AD to control your endpoint through the Intune or JMLF, and then you have other integration with the structure. So it looks complex, right? Well, you may forget some of the link, and you may not familiar with some of the links, right? So of course, someone will just create separate account one by one. It works for a few users, but if you have 1,000 of users, 10% of turnover enemy, and someone got vacation, temporary revoke them, resume them, it'll become a nightmare, right? So that's why you should go for JumpCloud. So for JumpCloud, we can integrate your current cloud infrastructure, your HR system. We can integrate for AD, integrate with your M365, with Google Workspace, or even Okta On the other side, we can control your device, do single sign your SaaS application, integrate with your network infrastructure, or you can just use the single and only identity. That means one username, one password, go through all of this. Cool, right? So how it works, and it's simple. So you have a same identity, and we have integrated user means, and we control all your device with the agent, and we integrate your different IT resources with SaaS application through the SAML, and integrate your Wi-Fi through Radius or LDAP, and also we have a very good insight tools. We call it directory insight. It will indicate who is logging in. Is there something goes wrong? Maybe some users forgot their password, keep trying and get the account logged out. So you can have the insight very quickly. You have alerts and notification, right? Good. So break down into the identity. So we not just support AD, we also support different cloud directory, cloud IDP. Of course, we have our own user account directory. So if you don't have any of this, it's fine. You just use JumpCloud. You create user here and provision to different application. So we do single sign-on through the SAML or other protocol to integrate like Salesforce, AWS, so many. We have sorry, there's a question. I will answer you after that. This slide. Single sign-on. So we integrate with SAML. So if you got your own application, it's fine. You just follow the SAML protocol, then you can integrate with JumpCloud. So we can do the single sign-on to your application. Cool, right? And if you got some legacy application or NAS, we use the LDAP to integrate with it. So you're still using the same username and password to access your NAS or your legacy application. And of course, if you've got a VPN and Wi-Fi, we have a Radius server to integrate with your Wi-Fi and VPN, so you can use the same username password to integrate with that. And as I mentioned, we have an agent, so an MDM function. So for iPhone, you cannot install agent there, right? So but you can use the Apple MDM infrastructure to do the MDM control on your Mac OS and iOS. Of course, you still can install agent to Mac OS. Of course, Linux and Windows, we can do it match with some policy. So you have a cloud directory that support something like a GPO, but we are cross-platform. So some of the policy is OS centric, like the registry stuff. It won't happen on Mac OS, but some generic like a USB control or this and that policy, we can have it a cross-platform policy. So imagine you got a GPO on all your Windows, Mac, and Linux. Sounds cool, right? And also we can handle patching with our agent. Okay, so we got insight I mentioned. So get back to some question like, may I know how to JumpCloud to prevent single point attack? Well, this question I can answer back to one very important point is people always ask why single sign-on? Why we have one password rather than thousands of passwords? Because it is different system, right? So AWS is AWS, JumpCloud is JumpCloud, AD is AD, Wi-Fi is Wi-Fi. So all of them have their own system. Of course, they have to care about their own security. Of course, there's some measure to help you to protect it better. But the point is, if you have only one password, you don't need to write down on a notes and put on your desktop or stick on your monitor, or you do not need to uh, replace get a simple password 1234566 or any of that, because you can control the password policy. So you can control the password complexity, and we support MFA, so to protect your access and identity better. It applies to all the platforms. So when you log in your web desktop, you can use MFA. Log in the LDAP, you still can use MFA. Log in the Wi-Fi, you can use the MFA. So it's one additional layer of protection. And if you're talking about your devices, we have policy you just mentioned, so it helps you to protect you from the attack. So any directory is a very important access, and it will be attacked, yes, of course, but that's why we do ask user to turn on your MFA, and of course, a complex password policy, right? Okay, so besides of the complexity of admin or user side or efforts, cost is also very important. So with JumpCloud, you can handle the directory, you can handle the single sign-on MFA, you may not need the password manager anymore. You don't need the remote desktop, because we will have the remote desktop function version, and you don't need Intune or JMFF to do the device management, because the agent itself handle the device policy, and you don't need Author to do single sign anymore, because JumpCloud provided. And you may not need to use the Azure Active Directory on the cloud. This is not cheap, right? Uh, so you have much cost-effective solution that cover most of the function, or I would say most of the function that you will use on left-hand side. You may argue that, okay, Intune got much more function on device control. Author got much more control, or Duo can call me, but is that really you're going to use it? And it get charged at 6 times more? I don't think so, right? Because you mix and match. You can use something you are simple and easy than use JumpCloud. And you may have some complex requirement. You still can use, like, I don't know, maybe Duo or Keeper or LastPass. Yeah, because sometimes some system do not support SAML, and you do want to manage the password, you can still keep using it, but we can integrate Keeper or LastPass with our single sign-on, so you can still use the same password to log in the Keeper and use the password inside there to access those with not single sign-on system. So yeah, so this is one of the reasons why you should consider using JumpCloud, because you save much money on that. Because you don't need to replace it once and for all. You can implement it bit by bit. So how JumpCloud provisioning user and how it works? So we create user, or we synchronize users from directories. Like, you can synchronize the user from Google Workspace or M365, and then we control the password, we enforce the MFA, we can enforce the password policy. And one very important point is we have a self-serve password reset functionality. For example, you can let the user to change the password on the device, or through the MFA, or reset the password by email, whatever. But you just do it once, then all the password will be synchronized. And also you can control the password changes only on the agent, through our agent. Then you can minimize many phishing or all sorts of password attack, because UFOs or whatever, because hackers cannot get your password and change your password. So, and also we can let you to implement a zero touch deployment. So your device can directly ship from vendor to remote employees. So all the security policy is in place from with the agent. The user install the agent, log in with their initial account, then you can get the software installed by JumpCloud. We can help you to install software, okay? Not just policy. You can deploy software, you can enforce policy. So you can provision a device that you have never touched it, okay? So cool, right? And then we have web application provision by full single sign-on, and some of the application we support just in time. So when the first time I try to access the system, we can create on the target system for you, your accounts, okay? And we have a very easy, simple authorization process. You can just assign the user to the group, then they have access to the device, the service. If they're not in the group, they cannot access it. It's very easy, right? And one very, very important is people come and go. So when people left the company, you may reclaim the device, but sometimes you don't. But the one and only one very, very important point is we can revoke the access for you, including to the device. And we can remove with the device, including like macOS and Windows. And when we take all the report, audit, and log, so it get very easy for you to have a remote workers from creating identity, zero touch deploy, assign application to them, and revoke it once it's offboard. Is it? It sounds good, right? Okay. So it's a console for JumpCloud. It's very simple web console, so we can do the log monitor, troubleshoot, and implementation, all from the console. You don't need to really touch your endpoint device uh, at all. Of course, we need to install the agent. And one very important point is help you guys to compliance. So uh, there are a few items that you can help, like for the encryption. We can enforce a device encryption for our agent. We have, of course, a password capacity, MFA, and also for the many more, like for the password lockout policy, uh, screensaver, uh, all sorts of things we can implement through our agent policy and also and our settings. So it's very difficult if you got a complex platform like Windows, Mac. You don't just have 80, but with JumpCloud, it becomes very easy. Okay, so let's talk about deep dive a little bit more on a common case in a scenario. So there is a you imagine there's a company. They have a hybrid hosting environment. They have a co-location data center. They have some server in the cloud. They already got a cloud IDP and some single sign-on services. And they want to protect the employee endpoint. And they're going to transition from the pure on-prem to fully or semi-remote workforce. So I think after a few years of COVID, uh, some companies do change their plan to fully or semi-remote work from home policy or remote workforce, and more globalized, because if employees can work from home, why not we employ someone from other country? Because because people find that it is not really necessary to everyone sitting in the same space to be productive, right? So we have challenge of remote workforce on the other hand. And for this case, they use some they have the AD, and they're using the AWS directory service, but which is quite limited in the functionality. It works only for the services on AWS, not for on-prem, not for others remote. But for the AD itself, is not also working well for remote user, right? So they're looking for a solution to help them to control and manage all the device, server, and services on the cloud, on the data center, and user from remote. And of course, if you got cloud idea, IDP, you got AD, you got physical server, you got cloud server, it becomes very high cost because many things will double. When you create user, you have to create from the AD, and you also create from the AWS directory, and it is high maintenance costs because many things you got to do many times for just single user. So they try to think about, let's try to go for a cloud IDP to as a single source of trust to replace of AD. So they choose, of course, choose JumpCloud, and they give up for the AD. So they don't use the on-prem AD anymore to do the complex synchronization, password issue. Because when you do synchronization, then you have to think about password synchronization problem. Because we can support bi-directional password synchronization for the AD and Google Workspace, but at the end of the day, we do suggest you just use the JumpCloud as a single password control, so you can replace the password management functionality from AWS, Azure AD, and also AWS or the Google Workspace. So we can have become the single point of authentication, password management, identity. So as I mentioned, we got a solution there. JumpCloud become a single point of trust, and they don't go for any AD anymore. And all the access, all the MFA is done when you logging in your device or the JumpCloud web platform. So you just have one and only one MFA solution, and all the login you just use the JumpCloud identity. And when you access the services like maybe AWS or Salesforce or M365 or Google Workspace, you are using the same identity from JumpCloud through the single sign-on. So you don't need to type your password again and again and again. Just log in once, then you can access anything which is integrated. So what's the benefits of doing so? So we can do a remote inventory tracking. Why? Because when you deploy our agent to your device, we can see the device itself, like the hardware or memory, the hard drive, OS, yeah, all sorts of things. And we can do patch management. So we can help you to install OS updates and update your software through the application control, and help you to comply some security initiatives like, as I mentioned, password complexity, the USB control, full disk encryption, and many others. Like you have to lock off the screen if you idle for 15 minutes, something like this. if you can't use for non-AD device, it's really difficult. Like if you do it once in Windows and do it on Mac, and how about how to do it in Linux, right? So we have a single point control, not just the password, not just the MFA, not just a single sign-on, but also other security aspects. So after those MFA and single sign-on, the next to consider is like to do the authentication app, to do the push MFA notification, and the legacy support like create LDAP to support the whole application for AD, which integrate AD, and like create some parallel solution. So let's take a quick look on the JumpCloud. So you guys can go to JumpCloud University if you want. It's really cool. So let's go to the admin portal. So this is the JumpCloud management console. So there's some tutorial. Okay, let's go to home. So we know how many users, how many devices, how many user group here. There's a dashboard. How many devices that inactive more than 7 days? There's 2. Or their device uptime greater than 30 days. That means they turn on for quite a long time. So we have a bunch of users here. You can, as I mentioned, you can synchronize your cloud directory or your Active Directory or create here. So user will receive an email to create a password, or you can create a password, 10 password them. Then once they log in, to reset the password, will come up, right? And very important is a user group. So you can assign users to different user group and map those user group to different services. Like you want to give the LDAP access to some of the user, so you can create a LDAP server here. So this is the LDAP server provided by JumpCloud. So all the open LDAP compatibility system can connect to this LDAP server to get authenticated with a JumpCloud account. And here we can choose which group of users can use this LDAP service. It's not just for all. You can choose by group, or you can specify some specific user. Okay. And of course, we have radius. It's the same. Single sign-on. So for single sign, as you can see, we have many pre-built connector already there. So you can just fill in the token, the URL, the token, then you can integrate the Slack, the M365, Zoom, Keyboard, many thousand of the solution with the single sign-on full sign. This is a feature you can search. I don't know, maybe you search deeper. Oh, you got to add it. So you can add like keeper. So you can add keeper, or you can add whatever. There's you can see there's a really thousands of solutions, because it's just a standard protocol. So once those applications support SAML, they will usually be there. And also we can support custom SAML application. So if your own device application and you're going to want to integrate with JumpCloud through SAML, you just implement it with the SAML standard SAML protocol, to fill in all those URL, ID, token, then it works, okay? Because it's some time to do the test, right? So it's very easy, and as I mentioned, because all the user have only one identity. So when the user log into the user section, and once you assign those user with a single sign-on to those applications, they can log in directly through the portal. They don't need to type in any more username or password anymore. And of course, we can have the device group, and we have many password device ports. So let's take a look. So for example, we have recommend policy. So turn on MDM for MAC address, block some should is a bug anyway. So disable the USB, full disk encryption, take over the firewall, lock screen, whatever. So this is some recommend policy, like you can see this is for Mac and Windows. Of course, you can create your own and pick something that we already built for you. And we support remote commands, so you can remote to send command to any device that you have already installed agent. So if you got some specific things you need to do remotely, it doesn't matter the user is 1,000 miles away, because once they connect to internet, you can do it through the cloud console here. And we support the chocolate package. So most of the common application, you can use this chocolate package to install. It's like this one. So I put a Google Chrome as a package, so we can keep the software update. So JumpCloud will keep monitor the chocolate package for the Google Chrome. Of course, you can put any others on the list. So once there's a new one, we can automatically update for you. So it is very handy, and you can create a bunch of applications that will be automatic install to Windows or Apple. Those you can mix and match with the device group. So you don't need to. That's why you can do zero touch deployment. Even though some application you are proprietary and you don't want to put in chocolate, you can do it through command, right? Okay, so and there's something more interesting, like we have a conditional policy, like we can limit the user login from which region, or when they can log in, and when you cannot use JumpCloud, or when you cannot check your email, whatever. And yeah, so let me show you the insight. So the insight is very handy. So you can see the login status for all the user. You can filter by device or service or event type. So who is success, who is fail, who using the single sign-on, who using the provision, the MFA, all you can see here. So this is a single platform, simple and easy to use, and integrated cloud directory. So for many cases, if you are not having a existing directory, of course we can write away using JumpCloud. But if you have a edit directory in place or other directory in place, you still can synchronize with it and not take over the password control yet. But you can still enjoy the MFA, single sign-on, and many other functions. Then you can do the slow transit to take over the AD or even replace the AD. So this is how we usually implement for the customer. So this is a very integrated platform to offer authentication, MFA, and single sign-on. So that's all the content for today. See if you guys got any question for me. If not, you guys can leave. You can get the PowerPoint and the recording from our channel and sales or marketing. So yeah, that's all for today. If you got any question, please drop in the question box. Otherwise, you can leave now. I will stay here for a few more minutes. Thank you. Cheers. Bye bye. Okay. Someone asked if I can show how to add workstation to JumpCloud from scratch. Well, it's extremely easy. So you can see we can add a device here. So if you want to install add an agent Windows, so you can install through exe through a MSI or download agent, or you got the download link, send it by email, or you can use MSI to install it. So this is how we deploy the agent. Once the workstation finish install the agent, then we can see it here. It will report to the cloud server. We can see there's a Windows 11, Windows 8, Windows 10. There's a few testing lab computer. So you can see like this one. So what the OS and what is the policy, what is the device group, and one very important is uh, when when you provision a device, there's no JumpCloud user account yet. Okay, so when you click here, like for example, I click this one, John. So once I click save, there will be a user account created on the device called Johnny. Okay, so that account will of course log in with JumpCloud password username. Okay. Uh, One more thing is because there's a control of the password management, so we can only support devices not joined into the AD because we will complete with the AD. There will be some technical issue. So for those who's not in the AD, or you can click the AD integration, of course, then we can bound it and manage the password and the user on the device. So of course we also we can take over the current user profile before you install JumpCloud. We can do some user account mapping. For example, there's a Johnny and we have a Johnny John account on the device. Then when you create Johnny, you can create a local user account mapping. Then we will create an account or bind to the account. The user can log in the same profile. Okay, one more question. What means user have to want an agent file from start and login user? No. Once you install it with a system service like antivirus agent. Of course, if you talk about zero touch deployment, you should shoot an email to user with their user name and password and also the link to download or to the agent. So I don't think there will be a problem for like your new employee, maybe they work in Thailand or something. You send them an M2 MacBook Pro and then they log in with the uh, of the account. And of course, if you're talking about a Mac device, we can do the auto provisioning with the ADE infrastructure of the Apple. But for Windows, of course, you have to install make it works manually. Because with your Apple, you can have the mass procurement process to default provision the NPM, make it install agent for you. But baseline is you can let the user to install agent. Then every time log in, start up computer, it will be controlled by JumpCloud. Am I answer your question? And you got many simple video here. So how to add the Windows device, Mac device, Linux device. You can send this video to your new colleagues. So I think there's no room for errors. And you can see there's a guide simulation. So okay, so let's take a look. So it to show you uh, how to install the agent. So you log in the user portal and add device, to address, copy the URL. Okay, okay, copy the URL. Okay, you type, paste there. You go agent and install there. Okay, we type in the jump cloud and password. Okay, this is the connection key. Copy here. This here. Done. So you got the agent here. Jump cloud. See? Okay. So if there is no more questions, we got to end today. But if you got any further question, please do contact us. We will get back to you as soon as possible. Okay, thank you once more to join our today's webinar. Cheers. Bye bye.